Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Chine On podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and today I'm joined by Eddie Kopp from Sugarshack Sessions. This was an awesome interview. I had a blast doing this. I've been wanting to ask him these questions for a while, and so we dive into everything from like how they've built the channel, but also just kind of diving into the mindset stuff behind how he builds this. It was fascinating. We talked about the new location, everything like that. Forgive me the audio for the first 30 minutes. I did have things cranked up a little bit, so that's going to be a little wonky. But other than that, we figured it out halfway through. So the second half of the audio, it's beautiful. It's tremendous audio. You're going to love it. You're going to love this interview. You're going to have a tremendous time. All right. So without further ado, please enjoy this interview with Eddie Kopp from Sugarshack Sessions.
Cheers again.
Cheers, dude.
That brown rice
Should
mass.
we do that again? I got a little brown rice biomass in my throat.
Biomass.
Dude, thanks for coming and doing this. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, absolutely. How are we looking? We're looking good. All right, cool.
Hell yeah, we look great.
We look fantastic, actually.
We do.
Tremendous work. Dude, thanks for coming and doing this. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely,
it.
bro.
I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about, like what's your social security number and your bank account information.
Yeah, so social is 513.
Dude, I saw Slightly Stupid this weekend.
Yeah.
It was great.
So many people in my life saw Slightly Stupid this weekend, but I didn't go.
A lot of people making better decisions than you.
Yeah, I heard it was awesome.
Dude, it was so good. I had a revelation while I was there. Slightly Stupid it's the most dad band out there. Like, they're just a couple dads
100.
up there
Yeah.
doing their thing. Like,
Living the life.
living the life, dude. That would be the perfect way to do it. I think they have the code cracked. It's like you go be a regular person for 10 months of the year.
Yeah.
And then you just get to do one of the things that I think almost any dad would enjoy doing is getting up on stage, wearing dad clothes.
Yeah.
They're wearing dad clothes.
Yeah.
They get up there, you play your music, you have a big ass party, and
Get paid 6 figures to play for 90 minutes. You figured it out, boys.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Cheers to Stupid.
Cheers. Dude,
Yeah, I love that band, bro. I think they were probably the first band to introduce me to, the modern American reggae. I heard the song This Joint when I was in college, and I was like, dude, what is this music?
Really?
It was even before Sublime. Like, for me, in my
Really?
life, that Stupid hit me before Sublime did. So I owe a lot to Slightly Stupid.
Yeah.
And, like, just drawing me into the genre. And here we are.
Yeah, they got my brother into like reggae rock, all that stuff, and
Yeah.
then he introduced me to Slightly Stupid, Pepper, 311, Expendables, like all
Yeah.
those guys.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what became the music that I listened to for pretty much exclusively for like 5 years.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, going through, and I was I found that music in like 9th grade. So when I first heard Pepper, I had to hate it because my brother liked it. He's 5 years older than me.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. I'm 36, so I'm a little...
Yeah.
It's about the same time. I was just in
Yeah.
college, yeah.
And my brother's, he'll be 36.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yep, same time.
Yep. So he found that, and so I had to hate it all. But, eventually...
That's funny.
it was a good reminder seeing Slightly Stupid this weekend because it reminded me that, like, hey, that's still possible. Like, going and doing that stuff. Like, those guys got to be probably 50, close to 50.
Some of them are for sure, if not, definitely mid-40s.
Yeah. And so I'm like, that's just a bunch of dads up there
Yeah.
making music, doing
Living the
stuff
life.
like that. If I just keep making music, like, I could probably do that.
Yeah, you definitely could.
Yeah.
And, dude, they really run the show like family men, too, because as I've gotten closer to the scene and closer to behind the scenes of the reggae scene, I've learned a lot about how these bands work and how they handle their business. And Stoopid, bro, they have a strict amount of time that they're on the road and away from family. and then they'll fly home if they have 2 or 3 days off between dates. They'll fly home to be with their kids and their wife, and then fly back out and meet the caravan of buses and hop right back on stage. So I don't know, man. They've really figured it out. They're true rock stars now, and they've gotten to a point where they can afford to like really, still spend time with their family even when they're balancing this work life. It's cool.
Yeah.
You don't really see them partying at festivals or shows. Like, I don't know, man. They're definitely, setting the example for the scene and what it can be, what you can do if you have music that transcends, all these generations, and they really write timeless music. I almost feel like they're going to be the next Grateful Dub of like our generation, or Grateful Dead. I just booked a band called Grateful Dub. That's funny, but Grateful Dead of our generation.
I think so. And they cover a bunch of Grateful Dead stuff.
Yeah, they're already like kind of leaning into that. So
yeah, it makes sense because this was the first time I ever saw them where it was their show. Okay. I've only seen them at festivals like Reggae Rise Up and other stuff, and there was something different about this time because it was like a party. You did get to be part of like a bigger experience that they were putting on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
a stupid show rather than, like you said, like a festival lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think like and some of these festival lineups, it's like it almost can't be the pure show. Like it has to be just a version. Like it almost has to be a festival set because you bring so many people together. You're in and out, so you don't have even the headliner can't cultivate the feel of the show.
It's true. It's kind of more turn and burn at a festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even seeing 311 at Reggae Rise Up was like, I was like, man, I remember seeing these two like, I don't know, they're probably like late 50s or something, like a couple sitting at a table after, and I walked out. I'm a big 311 fan, been listening for like a long time.
I know, yeah.
And so these people had 311 shirts on. So like I walked over to them and they were like initially like, yo, what the fuck is this guy like just walking up to? And I'm like, well, because like it's just at night, it's late at night, and like nobody's around. It's like, what is this like drunk high person coming up to me, crackhead gonna kill me? Like, and I was like, yeah, pretty good set. But I was talking to them, and it kind of dawned on me like that was a great festival set.
Mm-hmm.
It was great for that, but if you were to see 311 on their own play that set, you'd been like, it was like a pretty good show.
I agree. Yeah, it's different energy at a festival. I agree. I was there for that, and then I also saw 311 at their own show when they like headlined a tour with Iatera and Iration. I don't know. It's like 2 years ago, something like that. Just right when touring came back from all the COVID crap. But 311 was next level,
right?
Like night and day from their Rise Up set, as far as their lighting goes and everything. The whole production was just mind blowing. And I'm not even a huge 311 fan. Like I like them. But after that set, I was like, damn, these boys, legends.
You got to see them live. And then once you see it live, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
That's how I was.
Yeah. My buddy gave me their whole discography in high school. And, I was like, kind of like, all right, this is cool. And then I remember I saw them live for the first time in Central Park in New York City the day Michael Jackson died.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because they gave him like a shout out and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I remember seeing that and like, oh, all right, these guys are pretty good. And that was an outdoor kind of festival-y kind of feel. And then I got to see them play live in New York City at the Hammersmith Ballroom or something like that. Hammersmith Ballroom, I think.
Cool.
And I was like, got it. Understand.
Exactly. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It was so cool. Dude, and your guys, I got to give you props for the pop-up session.
Yeah.
Like, that thing was fucking sick.
It's cool, bro. It's a cool, like, kind of reiteration of what we do.
Yeah.
It's fun to, I don't know, it's cool to take the production and, like, put it in front of an audience and give people, like, it's almost like what we do at the Shack, to 20 people when you're there. But this is we're able to do, I don't know, this last year was probably a good 1,000 people in front of our stage, every artist. So I love the pop-ups, dude. It's one of my favorite things we do, honestly. We have such a good time with that. And, you get to hang out with, we try to do 4, maybe 5 artists a day. So it's cool to interact with 4 artists and like in one day, and then those artists' audience come in. It's almost like Bryce on our team calls it like there's like tides that come in.
Yeah.
For example, Article Sound System will get on stage, and this whole like wave of Article fans, 1,000 people show up, and then they all like retreat, and then like Kyle Smith comes on stage 2 hours later, and this whole wave of like Kyle Smith fans come in. So it's like this cool, different energy for every artist, and we see that, and so it's cool to interact with the artists and the fans, and just kind of be part of that energy. And yeah, pop-ups are sweet, man. It's definitely a package that we're selling to other festivals and events.
Okay.
So we're trying to that's a good way to branch out and hit other demographics and hit other audiences and hit other, genres.
You know what was cool about it too is it did remind me of some of the the early Reggae Rise Up kind of festivals.
Cool.
I and those I remember going to those. I guess it was just after college that those started.
Yeah.
But I remember like those early ones. It was electric. Like there was something about being at those festivals like early on in Vinoy where Reggae Rise Up was just like, I am not gonna miss this. Like for anything.
Yeah.
And it's probably because I'm getting older. I don't know. I've got it.
Totally.
I'm a dad now, so I just like pay attention. I like look at I was talking to my buddy while we were watching 311, and there's like a 50-something-year-old mom and like a 21-year-old daughter together.
Sick.
And like he's got a young daughter too. And then the next day we're like, when the mom was in front of with the daughter, I was just thinking about my daughter. And he's like, yeah, I was thinking about my daughter. So that's what I think about now.
Yeah, we get all soft as we get older, right?
Yeah. So
It's a good thing.
that could be why it's like it's not as like magic, but
Yeah.
when I saw your guys pop up like sessions,
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking magic, dude.
Sweet, dude. That's what we're trying to do.
You guys nailed it.
Felt it. Thank you, bro.
You felt it. And
Who did you see?
Something Reef,
Dry Reef.
Dry Reef.
Yeah, indie rock band.
Really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I'm glad I got to see him in that setting. It reminded me of like Less Than Jake in a way. His voice kind of, but
He's got a very unique voice.
yeah,
Very unique.
they were really cool. That was good. I forget who else I saw, but we were only there Thursday night and then Friday. And we had to be back like I guess Friday night or Saturday morning or something. But man, that Little Stranger video,
Shoo.
that's one of the coolest live performances
I agree.
I
got
ever
goosebumps
seen.
thinking about it. You just sang it, I get goosebumps, bro. That's one of my favorite all-time moments we've ever had as Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
Like, I get emotional thinking about it, dude. Those boys, just what they've done for us and we've done for them, is just, it's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
like literally what it's all about. We're here to, shine light on artists that deserve it. And that's, I believe that every artist we have on our platform deserves it. But there's something about Little Stranger that is hooked. And, we had a huge part in that, dude. We really did. I remember there was a drummer of Mike Pinto's band was wearing a Little Stranger shirt. And in the middle of the set, middle of recording or wherever, I asked him, I was like, what's Little Stranger? He's like, oh, it's my homie's band. They love Sugar Shack. They love to do this. And I was like, all right, I'll check them out. I checked out. I heard the song Girl Number 3 or Girl 3 or however you say it. And I was like, this has to be on the Shack. Like, this song is like perfect for Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
And I wish I remember his name, the guy that played drums, but sent me Johnny's number from Little Stranger. I texted him. I was like, dude, you want to come to my house and record a session? He's like, dude, we would love to. And, lined up. They're coming to Florida whenever within the next few months or something. And they came over and it was that indoor session. And, dude, it was like, this is my favorite sessions of all time.
Yeah.
They were just so natural and they're just so talented. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they just like, it just pours out of them effortlessly. And, I don't know. It just shines through on how raw we keep our videos. We're not tuning their voices. We're not doing nothing. That's just those two guys just crushing that shit. And, it just connected with people. So I don't know. The impact we've had on their careers as musicians and then vice versa, like on ours as a YouTube channel, like it's unlike any other artist so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the big dogs, like the biggest artists, like Stranger, I feel has had a heavier impact on us than some of the biggest artists we've ever had. It's crazy. It's
That's
cool.
awesome.
It's amazing.
Dude, what's that like to be able to, um, I don't know, get to meet people? What is it like to get to provide that kind of platform to somebody where you get to let them like express like the main thing in their life that they want so badly to express to the world? Like what is that like from your side?
It's the best feeling in the world, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, coming from myself being a musician before all this, like I was looking for platforms like this for my own music.
Yeah.
I never found it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it exists today in my life. Like I wanted to create a platform that artists can just come be raw, real. And if you can handle like, you know, not being tuned and not throwing filters on everything. And,
Yeah.
you know, we obviously make it sound polished, but
Sure.
we are keeping that as authentic as we possibly can in post, both audio and video. So I don't know. I think it's the best feeling in the world, dude, to just see artists come in, sit down, and just be their true, authentic selves. And we can do the same on our side of the cameras and just have this connection, this like unspoken connection that we, you know, we connect with every artist on this like different level. And then artists will tell you that, like, you know, artists do a lot of video shoots, you
Sure.
know, and we just hear more than ever, like, this is unlike anything I've ever done with. Like, I didn't feel like I was shooting a video recording. Like, I'm just hanging out with you guys while you're all staring at us. But I just felt so comfortable with you guys. So, you know, that's what we strive to do, dude, is like artist hospitality and just make the artist feel as comfortable as possible. Because I think that's what really brings the true artist out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's I was talking to, thank you for setting me up to go see the Expendables. I
Hell yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
And
It worked out nice.
yeah, I got to talk to Jeff for a while.
Sick.
And yeah, that was one of the things that he mentioned. He's like, I didn't really know what to expect when I showed up here, and I didn't know that nobody knew who was going to be here. And
It's funny because we tell artists all of these things.
Yeah.
And every artist says that.
hey,
We have all these documents, you know, they're nice documents, one sheets we send every artist. It's like, here's what to expect. Here's what we're doing. This is exactly how it goes. And they'll show up and be like, oh, this is live? Like, oh, there's people coming? I'm just like, dude, yes.
yeah,
Your managers just don't share anything with the artists. They're just like, hey, be here. Show up to this dude's house.
it's probably because the manager's like, I've sent them all these fucking white sheets and one pagers, and they don't read any.
Nobody reads. I know. But yeah.
Hey, go here, bring your acoustics.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Oh, this is acoustic? That's like another thing we get when they show up sometimes. Do you have acoustics we can use? Yeah. We got that.
We got you. We've been through this before.
Yeah, exactly. But that's awesome that, you know, from your perspective that Jeff told you that and shared that with you. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Jeff was comfortable that night, dude. It was a good vibe. They
That
played
was-
9 songs. That's like way more than anybody ever does.
Dude, and when they and I was like, hey, did you guys know when you played Drift Away, like how you're gonna play it? And he's like, not really.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's awesome to see like they've been playing that stuff for so long that
Is that an old song?
yeah,
Drift Away?
yeah, it's from Open Container. It's like 2004 or something like that.
Oh, wow. It's real old.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I know you're a big Expendable fan. That's why I was like, you got to come to this freaking session, dude.
Thanks.
But yeah, they never hooked. They never hooked me over the years. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like if you, I talked to my buddy about this, about especially pop punk bands.
Yeah.
That caught me at the right time
Yeah.
in my life. Mm-hmm. And there's certain bands that now I listen to. I'm like, dude, I get the talent. I get all this. It just it doesn't
Resonate or
it doesn't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's not hitting that part of my soul.
totally, dude. But after that session, I am that with Expendables now.
Really.
That hooked me. I was like, all right, this band is really good, really talented. You know, you get to know them and you get to, you know, I don't know. It's different when you like meet somebody and feel their energy. And, I don't know. I'm an Expendables fan now.
Yeah.
Like it's like new music to me because they have such a big discography that like I've missed out on. So
Yeah,
it's
and
been great.
And they went a bunch of different directions too, because they had that old kind of, they're like, sublime-ish, old school, slightly stupid, kind of punk,
Yeah.
surf punk kind
Yep.
of stuff, and then they did this like more metal reggae and everything.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. It's cool to see like an evolution like that.
It is cool. Yeah. And at the session, I feel like they, portrayed all of those different layers that Expendables are known for.
Yeah.
There were songs that sounded like old, Slightly Stupid, but I fell in love with Stupid. I was like, damn, these guys are like, I can hear the inspiration of Stupid. And then, some of their new stuff I actually really like their new album a lot. And
Yeah.
they played a handful of those songs. So it was cool, man. It was cool to get to know them, get to know their music, and like really give it a real chance. So it was cool.
Yeah.
I know of their like greatness, and I know that people love them, and ultimately that's why we booked them. They have a huge fan base, and some of the guys on our team really do love them. But it really took that session to hook me, and I'm really grateful for that. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool.
I'm glad you can. You're part of the club now.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome in. Yeah. And so what I was saying before, this Slightly Stupid concert reminded me now, like, oh, this is something that you can do. There's longevity in it if you do it right. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me in a way of like what hooked me for playing music in the first place. Like, I played guitar and all that stuff, but in 10th grade, I saw Pepper play in New York City. And I was like, that looks like the most fun I've ever seen any adults having ever. That's the shit that I want to do.
And you could still say that at a Pepper show to this day.
I went and saw them at the ranch a month ago.
Yeah.
And they played Kona Town, the 20-year anniversary. It was a fucking blast.
Yeah, I know. They have such a good time.
And I'm like, all right, I want to do that.
Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
I'm just gonna keep fucking
putting music out.
Keep sitting down in my garage and fucking record.
You broke the ice. That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
breaking the ice. I know you've been in a band and you've done your thing, but like you broke the ice on this like new chapter of it, which is I was like, "Hi, Chris, hell yeah, dude!"
Yeah,
we listened to it in the office today with the boys, and even Dave was like, "What song is that? I really like that." So
really,
already getting some fans.
Hell yeah! All right,
we found your old Bandcamp. We were listening in opposite states in the office today.
Oh, it's online.
It's on Bandcamp. We found it.
I gotta tell my mom, dude. My mom's my biggest fan.
Yeah, Dave was cranking it in the office today.
Hell yeah! All right.
Yeah,
cool.
We were looking on Spotify. I was like, I think they're pre-Spotify days.
We were on there, and then I think I had it on TuneCore, and I just like let it lapse.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
Good to know it's on Bandcamp.
Yeah, we found it on Bandcamp.
I gotta go back. I might have to buy my own album off Bandcamp.
It was a flashback. 'Cause I remember all y'all's songs. I was like, damn, I haven't heard these songs in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
You knew those songs?
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. You were a local band in town, and as was I. And
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like you guys were like at the end of my time of like my Common Ground days.
Banding. Yeah.
It was kind of transitioning into more Sugarshack stuff, but I remember you guys being around. I saw a couple shows. I think I saw you guys play once or twice.
Yeah, we were doing stuff probably from like 2015 to 2018.
Okay, yeah, so it was after.
Yeah.
I started Shack in 14, so
Yep.
I remember those days.
Yeah, and actually, Rob was your guitarist in.
Yep.
Okay.
Common Ground,
and he was the one who helped Opposite States in terms of sound and like getting us ready to play a live show.
Sick.
I think more than anybody.
Wow.
So I'd say he probably put in like 10 or 12 hours of his time to come to Guitar Center with us, tell us what equipment to get. When we went back to the warehouse, like he helped us set it up. Like we didn't know shit about setting up.
Hell yeah, Captain Rob.
Yeah, Captain Rob, dude.
He's the man. I love Rob.
Dude, he helped us out so much. And I actually have, well, I might have to edit this out. I have one of his guitar pedals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's not using them right now.
Stowed away. And now I have it. You're not getting it back, Rob.
He's not playing right now.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
It needs to sit in my garage, not yours.
Yeah, right? I wish he was playing, dude. He's a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, dude. We still have songs that we're sitting on that we recorded from back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever think of putting them out?
Yeah, I think about it, but that's different than doing it.
Yeah.
If you ask Robbie, he will tell you that I'm holding that all up. So I need to re-record my drums.
Your drums are shit, dude.
Sorry, Rob. I'll get to it. Maybe Brian can do that for me.
Yeah, maybe. Dude, working with him has been a blast, man. It's like rejuvenated my desire to write and everything. Because I've been I've been writing some of this stuff alone, and you kind of hit a wall sometimes when you do things alone.
100%.
Yeah, and so that's been nice to help break through that. And he's like, it's kind of like the first person I've like showed the song to. I'm like, this is kind of what it feels like, and I kind of am thinking of going this way. And he's like, all right, you can go this way, and then there's this, but then also like, what if we did this? And you're like,
That's a good producer right
I
there.
like that.
Yeah. He's got a natural knack for that shit, dude. He does a good job with it. I've been having a lot of, I've been very impressed working with Brian with Sprout, my new band now. Not my new band, but the band that I play with. They're not really new. They've been playing forever. But Brian's been a real pleasure to work with, dude. And he's kind of been, I don't know, he's been cutting his teeth with us. Like he was like, let me just work with you guys and see if you even like it.
Yep.
And like you heard 2 of the tracks, they sound great, dude. For like some of his first stuff,
Sound fucking awesome.
sound awesome, man. Super impressed with just him in his bedroom and electronic drums. Everything's DI. Sounds great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool, man. Brian is one of the first musicians that for me when I moved to this area in 2005. Brian was the lead singer of Vega Under Fire, and I used to just seek local band shows when I was at FGCU. I would just look for local shows. And Vega Under Fire was one of those bands that was playing regularly in town, and I would just randomly go to these shows. I didn't know anybody. I'd take my homies from FGCU, and we go, and I fell in love with Vega Under Fire, and Brian was like that guy. So to like be homies with Brian now, and he actually works with Sugarshack now, and now he's producing this album for the band. I mean, it's just cool to have this full circle, and he's like still in the scene doing it. He kind of found a way to like reinvent himself, which is really cool, and help other artists. And it's cool to hear that he's like re-inspired you. It's fucking awesome, dude. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Well, and these things like they don't have to die, but like that can die. I think a lot of people. I think it's funny because that can die, but it also can't. It can be brought back. So I think people get too focused on like, oh, I'm not doing my art right now, and so I'm worried that like I can never get it back. Or they're like, yeah, it's gone. Like that piece is gone. It's like
that chapter's over or whatever it may be. We make excuses. Yeah. I mean, I still feel that sometimes myself. Like
with what?
With Sugarshack, I feel sometimes that I'm not working hard enough, or it's just being self-employed. You just have this like, I don't know, you just have this wall that's in your head sometimes. Dude, it's tough.
So how do you actually stay focused on what you're doing and drive all this stuff forward? Because it's not an easy feat to put all this together, and also like you got an impressive operation just in terms of like I went to your headquarters and there's a lot of people in there. It's you guys put on these mega acoustic shows. You have the backyard acoustic shows. You're building the new location. Like, dude, you got to encounter a ton of bullshit all the time. So like, what do you do? Yeah. What's your, I don't know, philosophy on staying
focused and like on mission? Well, I think number one is building the right team around you.
Okay.
I think for me, that was number one. Literally since day one. I was like, I guess, the military really brought that out of me. Like the leadership skills in me and team building and leading a team. Like I got off the bus in boot camp, and for some reason the TI walked up to me and said, "Kopp, front of the line, you're the leader." And I was like, "All right." So I got up there. You can't say no. Like, and then I was one of 2 guys that maintained my job in boot camp the entire time. So I've never, because you can get fired. Like you do one less push-up than you're supposed to, you get fired from your job. You can get fired for every little thing, dude. And I maintained that job the whole time. I was a leader the entire time. So I feel like, number one, the military really brought that out of me. And like I kind of like discovered that leader inside me.
Okay.
And so going into Sugarshack, I knew I had this whole like plan, I guess, kind of.
Sure.
If you want to call it that. I had this idea, but I had to build a team around me. So, I was very strategic in that team. I still may still have that note in my phone. I don't know. But I put all the creatives I knew in town, all of like the camera guys I knew in town, all the audio guys I knew in town, guys and girls. And I just had to like be strategic, and I just built this team around me that I don't know, I have this way of like reading people and picking up on energies, and that's really big. Like with me, is like my energy's got to match your energy, or like we got to gel, especially if I'm going to try to start this friggin' business with you. So I curated this team of 4 guys that are still on the team to this day. And, honestly, it's that. Like, you got to find passionate people that can align with your vision. And, if you can just find that right, I don't know, that like right energy, and everybody get on like the same, just friggin', I don't even know what you want to call it. Just
same like kind of wavelength, same mission.
Yeah, and you got to be able to like portray your vision to them properly. And I feel like I did that early on really well somehow. Like I was like, I have this idea. I think we can do this. I have this network built of artists, bands that we can just tap into. We can really get this thing going. We can get it off the ground. And like, I'll carry most of the weight. I'll book. I'll edit. I'll do all the marketing. I just need your guys' skills like to capture it. And then obviously like Alex, that would need you to mix and produce the music or whatever. I didn't do that. So that's, I think from day one, the most important thing to me was building the right team and curating like the right team and company culture.
Okay.
Because I believe that like the happier your people are, happier that the people around you and you're surrounding yourself with, the harder they're going to work and the more dedicated and the more passionate they're going to be to see this thing succeed. So for me, that's always been very important. So, for 6 years, it was just us 5. We did have one guy that came in for a couple years. He came and went, but then, maybe like year 7 or so, we started bringing more people on because we just hit our friggin' max capacity. Like we hit our ceiling for sure. And our bandwidth and bottlenecks and everything started just coming into play, and it got real. We almost call it like the dark years of Sugarshack. We still did what we're here to do, but it was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was those times that you're really tested, and we're all just pushed to our limits. So we started expanding the team. We found a way to do that. And
so what was without like sharing stuff you don't want to share, but like what was going on, or why was that the dark time?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm giving you an out for stuff you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I think that it was just a time. I think up until like those years or that year, let's just call it like year 6 or 7 or so. I feel like we just had our foot on the gas, pedal to the metal, without much of like a business sense.
Okay.
At like, I feel like we just jumped in and something hooked somewhat early for us, and we just pedal the metal and let's just freaking see where we can take this thing.
Yeah.
Business side of things, definitely not as tight as they probably should have been, but whatever. I feel like that's common, and then something hooks. You're like, oh shit, we got to catch up, and we got to like get our shit in order and pay taxes. We were doing those things, but like could have been doing things a lot better.
Sure.
So we learned a lot, and that just comes with a lot of different layers. We had to buy out a partner. That was a silly decision we made early on that we had to like deal with. And so that was a big part of the dark years. But I'm at the end of the day, like I'm so grateful that all that happened. Like as many layers as there are in those times, like I am so grateful that all that happened.
Did it, why?
Because I learned so friggin' much, dude. Like, and it sealed us, at least me and the 4 co-founders, it sealed us so tight. Like, it locked us in. Because I feel like those are the moments that either break you up or they reel you in and lock you down. And that's what it did, bro. Now it's like a true brotherhood. Like, it was before, but for some reason, those times when it got like real hairy, like really sealed the deal for us. And we all just got on the same page. Like, we were on the same page before, but this was on like a different level.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's make this let's do this for the rest of our lives. Like, we got
Really?
this. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool. So then we started expanding the team, and I think like I was saying, like from day one, it was very important, that company culture.
Yeah.
So, and my guys felt that too. Like, we always made sure they were having a good time, made sure everybody's like emotionally well. We're all balancing jobs and shit. Like, for a while there, like it gets really hard, and it really pushes you and your families and significant others and everybody to the limits. Like, we always just made sure that everybody's good. And as we built the team, we just made sure that culture and that like dynamic is still there.
Yeah.
So now we have 11 guys, and it's like the company culture, I think, is like second to none now. Everybody truly enjoys their role and their job and their contributions to what we do. And there's no fat on the team. Like, everybody has a role, and we all like trust and lean on each other to
Get that done.
fulfill that role. And I think that's, that vibe and that dedication everybody has to it is just, I don't know, man.
That's cool.
I see that, like, I see like other companies that don't have that, and they're like struggling, or, how do I get my people, like, I don't know, engaged or whatever it may be. But I don't know. It's always just been for me, it's always been like very important. So I don't know. You just got to get your people fired up and like passionate about what you're doing.
Do you have like a goal of where you're going with this?
Paul Stamets got me hyped up. Got me all like,
Oh yeah.
got me heated up, bro.
You're heated up, dude.
I'm peaking. Am I peaking a little bit?
Dude, I have fucked up this audio for sure. Give me a little test.
Check. I can talk loud when I get going.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, all right. So
We're all right, though.
We're all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first half of this
It's fine.
interview,
It's fine.
they'll have to slug through it. Sorry, everybody.
It was good stuff. We were rolling. But you asked me what? What'd you ask me? What's your goal with all this?
What's your social security?
We already went over that.
Yeah. What's your? So, do you have like a goal with this?
Man, when people ask me that question, I have a hard time answering that. I don't know. Because, yeah, of course I have goals. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Because we have this, like, foundation and this, like, structure to what we do. And we have this product that we offer to the world and to musicians and to music lovers. So I feel like our platform alone, like, in a sense, we could almost just ride this out. Let's just keep riding this and, become a household name, something like Rolling Stone, or,
Yeah.
Relics is like a live music, kind of like a household staple name, something like that. I feel like that's definitely a goal.
Sure.
Definitely a big goal. Just become a household name in the live music space. Maybe even like grow into be a magazine side of the channel. Kind of like Rolling Stone. They've really kind of paved the way a little bit, in some sense. But then there's like this new goal, of like, we have the Sugarshack Downtown concept that's being built. And that's a whole new chapter and a whole new goal of like, let's be the next Hard Rock. Let's be the next Margaritaville. And, we've always wanted to have a venue, but then this like kind of fell in our laps last year. I was like, shit, guys, our venue's here. Like, this is happening. Like,
Came to us.
if we want, I feel like we've like really like, we definitely pulled that in, just being like what we're doing. I feel like
Yep.
it just kind of came to us, I feel like it was in our cards.
And you guys have been doing this for long enough, and you kind of become a staple enough where people were like, do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it felt that way. It's for something that's such a big like decision and like a life changer. This is going to change our lives. It's felt so, I don't want to say easy. It's felt so natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say this all the time. Like, we'll get out of meetings together with the boys, and I'll just be like, I still can't believe this has happened. Like, this is the coolest shit ever. Like,
Dude.
this is I don't know. It just feels so natural and so right.
Well, it's cool to watch too.
Cool. Hell yeah. That's cool.
What's cool about it, and I don't know if if this is, I've always kind of felt this way about what you guys are doing, but maybe it's different because I've changed my mindset in the past
Okay.
year, 2 years,
Yeah.
where I've always looked at what you guys were doing as like, you were always kind of like further along in the process of whatever I was doing, whether it was like a band and you guys had Sugar Shack like kind of rolling at that point,
Mm-hmm.
or when I started my business, like I was looking at what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
And it's cool to, I like seeing it because it lets me know that somebody is pulling this off and like you're moving the ball forward, but it's cool to watch it from the perspective of seeing how it's unfolding. And it's a good reminder because one of the things that I got wrong about my business and why it kind of, I think ultimately it failed because I didn't want it to work on some weird
That makes
fucked
sense.
up level.
Yeah.
But like early on, I did a lot of stuff for myself. Like, oh, this is about me.
Yeah.
This is about me kind of. And it's cool to watch what you guys are building now and how it all stems from kind of delivering value to other people,
Exactly.
you know? And that's been like that was a big thing I just fucking missed.
Yeah.
Right over my head. Like, missed it completely.
Yeah.
And that's been cool to watch and see this thing blossom and grow and change. Like, all right, when we talked on the last podcast, it was like, well, I guess we're saying it. We're doing like a venue, and it was just kind of it was kind of an idea that was like
early,
kind of well thought out, but still an idea.
I mean, kind of well thought out. I mean, like I said, it kind of fell in our laps, dude. Like,
how did that process happen?
Yeah, so we met a man named Kyle Moran. He's been in Bonita Springs for 30 years. He's a developer. He runs a company called Moran Kennedy. And, he is definitely the main, like, push behind all this for us. He approached us. He had this piece of land downtown Bonita Springs, and he had this vision that this needs to be a live music venue and a restaurant, live music restaurant.
Okay.
Because he's one of, it's a small handful of individuals that are really bringing downtown Bonita to life and bringing it to life the right way. Not letting chains come in, really focusing on local and startups and things like that, giving like local restaurants a chance. And, there's a lot of retail coming in. But downtown Bonita Springs is going to be very special in the next few years. It's really going to come to life.
Yeah.
And we're going to be a big part of that. We're right in the middle of it. But he had this vision, and he had known about Sugarshack and being in Bonita, and he's a diehard Bonitian. And one day, he came around a few times. He came to a session, I think early on, or we were in the front yard building our merch booth for Reggae Rise Up, and we're all out there like covered in paint and shirtless and looking like a bunch of bums and just building these like 10-foot walls. And he comes up, shakes my hand. He's like, "Hey, I'm Kyle Moran. I've heard a lot about you guys, and I would love to just like pick your brain and talk to you sometime." I said, "Okay, yeah, sure, let's do it." I'm like covered, so it was like 100 degrees out. Like it was the most informal business introduction I've ever had.
Yeah.
And little did I know, I mean, like, I don't know the time frame, but maybe a month later, he's like, "Hey, Ed, would you mind coming to my office today at 4? I have something I want to show you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went over to his office, and just him and I, just like this, and he sat me down, and he has like a projector or a big TV on the wall, and he had this huge presentation of just his vision for Sugarshack. At the time, it was called Project Sugarshack because it wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
But he had this whole presentation, dude, and I'm just sitting there, and we've always wanted a venue. It's kind of inevitable. Like, we got to have a venue one day.
Yeah.
It's like, it's in the cards. But at this level, I was just like staring at the TV, and I was like, oh my God, I was just started buzzing, dude. Like, whoa, like he had this vision of and it's right in the heart of downtown in the most epic friggin' spot. And where it's everything that's coming to life in Bonita is like kind of coming around that one spot. And I'm just like, I saw what he had in mind. And I was on the golf cart because it's like right down the street from my house. And I'm just driving the golf cart home, just like, "Boys, like, come on, dude, we got to have a meeting. I'm calling a meeting tomorrow morning or tonight if you can." Like, I'm just like freaking out.
Yeah.
it just felt right from that moment. I was just like, holy shit, dude. Yes. Like,
And when was that?
it was almost like validation. I was like, someone that I had no idea, like, really knew we existed, wants to take this chance on us and knows, like, sees what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Dude, isn't that the wildest shit of just
crazy.
putting things out and like you really have no idea who's going to see it, why they'll see it.
Yeah.
Like
we got subscribers, we got followers, we got all these big numbers, but like, I don't know, when you meet another human and they tell you these things and they see what you're doing, I'm just like, all right, we're on to something good. Like, it was such a pivotal moment for me personally.
Yeah.
As Eddie Kopp, like, I was just like, all right, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. We're ready to do this. Like, where do I sign? Let's freaking go. Like,
hell yeah.
Obviously, there's more to it than that, but it just felt right. And, it's been a huge learning experience because have no experience opening restaurants. We're in the music industry, but we have very little experience running a venue. And then retail, there's going to be like a whole like retail store, surf shop vibe in there, Sugarshack style. So that'd be cool. We've been doing merch for like 9 years, so that's going to be pretty natural. But yeah, man, it's been, what has it been, like 8 months now or something at this point that we've been working on it. We brought on a restaurant partner. That was a big thing because, in this process, it was like, do you guys want to, start the restaurant and learn all the ins and outs of a restaurant and do all the hiring and firing and figure all that shit out? Or do you want to give up a big percentage of the business and bring in a restaurant partner? So that's what we did, ultimately. Yeah. We want to bring on someone that's competent and can do a good job and just friggin' knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
And we found the right people, or IPC really did. This company, it's like a matchmaking company essentially for businesses. And they basically whittled down a bunch of restaurant partners or restaurant operators and presented like a handful of them to us. And ultimately we went with Brickyard Hollow out of Maine. They have 9 restaurants in Maine and they have like an amazing track record. And I mean, it's just another piece of the puzzle. It just felt right. It was like, yep, these are our guys.
Yep.
This is it.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
So when these opportunities come up and you go with this feel, what does that show up for you like? Is that a voice that tells you where to go? Is it like a feeling that translates that you then translate into words? How does that?
It's a good question because intuition is everything for me.
Yeah.
For me personally, like intuition is everything, dude. If it has to feel right.
Yep.
And I think that kind of has bled into my team too, in their mind frame and their mindsets. I kind of see that transform in them over the years. Like, you got to trust your intuition, you got to trust your gut. And so far, yeah, we've had some rocky roads, but it's been right right enough.
Yeah.
To an extent. So yeah, I think intuition is huge, bro.
So how does intuition show up for you? Like, how do you process it?
Ooh. I don't know, man. I've never been asked that. How do I process intuition? I don't know. That's a great question, bro. How do I process my intuition? What's an experience with you? What's an experience that you've had, like, where you had to process your intuition?
Nice reframe, dude. I like it. You host podcasts, dude.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough question to like
conceptualize,
get out of my own head.
Yeah.
Like, how do I?
What would be a good example of that? Fuck.
Because yeah, I mean, I used this situation, and it was like very much intuition.
Okay.
And Sugarshack as a whole has been intuition the entire time. Whether it's the band we're booking or, I mentioned a partner buyout at one point. Like, that was major intuition.
Yep.
Like, something's got to change. Never expected that. Something had to change, and we got to do this now. Got to figure that out. So, yeah, I don't know. Intuition. I don't know. I feel like it's supposed to be something natural. It's supposed to be something that you don't second guess. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to just let it come out of you.
Yeah.
It's telling you, and it's how you feel is how you should react to it. So I don't know. That's an interesting way to think about it. So
I guess then maybe a better question is like, what do you do to nurture that? Do you primarily, is it, well, you definitely follow your intuition for sure, but is there, like, do you write? Do you do other things? Like, how do you kind of keep your mind right?
man, I don't write. I hear so many people, business owners, like journaling or meditating, like, or just even just reading. And I don't do any of those things.
You just fucking go.
I just friggin' go. I feel like physical fitness for me though is kind of my release and
Okay.
my mental like clarity.
Yeah.
Like I have to do something active. I mean, I have off days, but like as many days a week as I can. Like just be physical active. Physically, I have to take my brain off of this for a while.
Yep.
And like do 2 hours of like just intense whatever it may be, weightlifting or sauna or just something that resets my brain. So
Okay.
that's huge for me.
So you got to clear, that's how you kind of clear out your pipes is like fucking, I'm going all in on a workout and
put on some metal as loud as it can go or pop punk or something and just disconnect for a bit.
You listen to Turnstile at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a band cover them recently and I went down like the Turnstile rabbit hole after that. I was like, all right, this song is sick.
Yeah.
It's a cool band.
They're great.
Yeah, they're really popular. They freaking blew up.
Yeah, my buddies were all in hardcore bands on Long Island and all that stuff, and they grew up listening to all that, so they showed it to me. Probably like 2015 or 2016.
Oh wow!
And
Whoa.
yeah, just since then it's just
I'm way late.
Yeah, dude.
I'm way late on Turnstile.
Yo, you know what's so cool about music though? I realized this like about 2 or 3 months ago. I found an Outkast album from like 1998.
Whoa.
That I've just been listening to a whole bunch.
Sick.
And it's kind of amazing how music works. It's like they could have been working on those songs from like, making this up, 1996 to 1998.
Yeah.
And spending all this time and effort. And like, I never heard that stuff.
That's
until
cool.
25 years later.
Yeah.
Then
connects
an
with you.
Experience that you recorded and captured at this moment in time now gets to be shared 25 years later.
Love that.
That's fucking cool, dude.
That's the fucking awesome part about music, dude. And that's what, something that's, I say that a lot about like our channel right now is like, this stuff's going to live on way longer than us.
Yeah.
Like, let's make timeless content that, that's a big part of like our approach to booking. It's like, we want to book timeless music as much as possible.
Sure.
Stuff that's just going to resonate with people forever. Like, it's like the Slightly Stoopid we were saying earlier, like their music is transcended all these generations, and at their shows you see little kids, so like 80-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it connects with all of them. And like, that's what we strive to do with our channel, big time.
Well, that was the cool thing about the Little Stranger one, getting to see that. Like, I'm like, man, I wish I was there in person. Like, I bet that would have been electric.
Yeah.
But like, even watching that, like they had the teenage girl come up and sing like a song like that.
She's 9, I think, or something, right? They asked her, and that I think she said, I don't remember, 10 or something. She's young.
Like, that's gotta that's so cool that they gave like that memory is now in that girl's head forever. Forever. Like, that's the coolest shit.
I know.
Dude, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
When I first heard Little Stranger, I did not want to like them, and they won me over. I don't know why I didn't want to like them.
That's cool.
But I think once I saw them play their full set at Reggae Rise Up, like I saw them on Friday.
Sick.
And like, I was like,
all right. They got me.
You got me. Yeah. I was like, this is fucking sweet.
Yeah, they're fun, dude. They're
just
so
two
fun.
Dudes up there.
Making all kinds of noise.
Making all kinds of noises. Rock the whole crowd. Like,
yeah.
That's a big ass.
Yeah.
That is a big ass.
Yeah. They're on a rocket ship right now, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I'm so hyped for them. They're playing Janice. They're headlining Janice November 3rd. We're going to be there. Going to be filming some stuff with them. And
hell yeah.
Their first time headlining, I think, anything that big in Florida, at least.
Good for them, man.
Yeah, sick. It's probably going to sell out, too. I think it's already getting there.
I'll probably have to buy some tickets.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Good for them, man.
It'll be really cool.
That's cool to watch. I like seeing shit like that.
Me too.
I think, dude, I've been thinking about this lately. Like, you know how some people are like, oh, yeah, you've got the crab in the bucket. Like, people want people to fail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think kind of. I think on a surface level they do, but I think people ultimately want people to succeed,
I agree.
even if they're shitty about it. Because there's something about people succeeding that does give you like a hope for the future.
Totally.
Like
yeah.
there is something cool about seeing that, because you get to take part of that and be like, all right, this can be done. I don't know how, but like,
Yeah.
it can be done.
Yeah. That's something in my life. I'm constantly looking for inspiration.
Yeah.
Like I'm always looking for inspiration, something to inspire me to keep going, something to inspire me to apply to my business or to my art. I'm always like seeking inspiration
Really?
from other creators or whatever it might be. Even like stuff like you do here, bro. Like you find little nuggets of inspiration, you know, and I don't know. It's a big part of like my approach to life is like finding little pieces there and to inspire you to like try new things or tweak what you're doing or I don't know, just contribute to your success ultimately
Yeah.
by watching other people's success develop. And I don't know, it's a big part of my life for sure. I'm always looking for something.
Yeah.
Always.
How do you look for that stuff? Like where are the main places you look for that?
I consume a lot of YouTube, a lot.
Okay.
I definitely watch this huge range of YouTube content.
Yeah, mine's all over the place.
All over. But that's how I find inspiration, man. I don't watch TV. I don't have TV, so like YouTube is like my main source of like
yeah,
entertainment. And,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I'll seek. Sometimes obviously people tell you got to watch this series, you got to watch this movie, and I'll find it, figure out how to watch it or whatever. But yeah, I would say YouTube's a huge part of it. Working with like with us, like there's this whole other side of Sugarshack. It's Sugarshack Media, where we do commercial video work for all kinds of stuff, restaurants. Excuse me, we have like an orchestra client in Miami.
yeah, those are pretty sweet. Like
Real sweet. It's a really cool client. But that's a huge source of inspiration for me. Is what we do with them. Like seeing what they do in their business and their approach to the music industry. Like I find so much inspiration in that. But it's a client. It's a client of mine. So I don't know.
Isn't it cool how I noticed that when I was doing the business podcast was like something about being hired to do something professionally forces you to dial into kind of a different part of your brain in a way
Right.
where you like I found inspiration from what people were doing in ways that I never would have thought. Like before doing that podcast, if somebody had like a service-based business and was I don't know, like there's a guy that has a home inspection company. It's like
Right.
if you would have told me 2 years ago, like I would be interested in what a guy running a home inspection company does with his business. I'm like, the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? And then
Right?
after those interviews and you put things together and you're paid by these people to put together the best possible product that you can.
Yeah.
You start to go like, what are you doing? Like, how do you run this? Like, why is customer service important to you? Why is this important to you? And some of it you get boilerplate answers, but sometimes like after you keep kind of pinging, it's like, oh shit, like there's a deeper thing here that they've tapped into.
Yeah.
And finding that it did make me like rejuvenated, especially when you're running a business, you probably know more than anybody how easy it is for you just have an off day.
Yeah.
And it feels like your world is falling apart.
Oh yeah.
And when that lasts for 3, 4, 5, 10 days in a row,
Oh yeah.
you kind of feel like, dude, I think maybe it's time to fucking hang this up.
Yeah.
And then you talk to somebody and it's like,
what am I talking about?
well, yeah, exactly.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of reminds you like, oh, I can still move forward. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter like what challenges you're going to run into.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was cool. It makes you realize that there's a path forward.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what yours is yet, but you're like, got it.
Yep.
Let me take stock of what I'm doing. Like,
mm-hmm.
Shit. All right. Well, I am being fucking lazy about this.
Right.
And this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually killing it here. I just am such a fucking cynical prick that I can't even appreciate what I'm doing here well,
Yeah.
and it overshadows that I didn't make a Instagram carousel on Canva in time, or it took me an extra 30 minutes. And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Self-accountability and like just believing in yourself is a huge part of it, dude.
I struggled with that for a long time.
Keeping the drive.
Do you believe in yourself?
Yeah, right now more than ever.
Okay.
Yeah, more than ever, dude. Like, yeah, I have those down days for sure, but right now I'm so fired up and so fueled on what we're doing. That yeah, for sure, I believe in myself more than I ever have in my whole life, and it feels good to be even be able to say that. Like, because yeah, dude, it was friggin' struggle for a long time, and you know, it's tough to see your boys struggle too. You know, because another driving force for me is just making sure that we hit payroll every friggin' Friday, dude. Like that is a huge driving force for me. We got to hit payroll. The guys got to feed the families, and we got to keep this train moving. So, yeah, man, believing in yourself is a huge factor, and I think like I was saying, like making sure that that mindset is like embedded into your team again is just such an important thing with a team, bro, and a business or a company. Like you gotta like somehow get your mindset and your drive into your team. And I don't know, I think Sugar Shack is a good example of that, man. Everybody's so driven to succeed and like see this thing through and like let's build this bitch as big as we can, this monster that we've created together. So yeah, man, you got to believe in yourself. You have to.
And is that something that you've always had? Maybe not to the same level, sure, but is that something that you feel like you've always had?
Naturally, yeah, instinctually, my whole life, yeah. I feel my parents drove that into me as a kid. I was always doing something like as an entrepreneur, even as like a little kid, I was trying to make stuff and sell it, and no matter what it was, my parents were like, "Yeah, let's do it. You got this." You know, I feel like my whole life, even with my siblings, my parents have always been that way. So, yeah, I mean, that's and then I didn't really know it, but up until like going into the military, that's what really just drew it out of me. Because like prior to the military, like yeah, I was in college and I was just like wasting time and money, dude. Like I was doing nothing with my life, bro. Nothing, man. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I was going. I mean, that's probably a common story for a lot of people, especially like young dudes, you know, coming in that straight out, the day I could move out of my house after high school, I did and just went for it. So, yeah, I think that's just been, instinctually and naturally, it's just been like built into me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the biggest things that's been a change for me in the past really year was like was actually getting that, like I've always had a fundamental core universal like belief in myself at the core. Like it's always been there, but then there's like been this fucked up middle layer for a long time where it's just like you let the doubt, you let all that stuff run it, run it basically. And so anytime that you make a decision, you like go for something, it's like, wait, no, let's filter that through this self-doubt shit and like all this stuff.
It's not good.
No. And
not good.
It's actually, it's a big waste of fucking time.
Totally.
Dude, it's like a mental, and over time it actually becomes like mental masturbation pretty much. Like it's pointless. And then once you realize it, then you're like, fuck, I'm actually doing this. And so
totally, dude.
That's been a big change that has unlocked a lot for me in the last year of doing this.
Yeah.
Because I got it at the right time, like right after the hurricane. Nobody wanted to buy podcast production. Like it was,
no way.
Yeah, no. So it was kind of like the nail in the coffin a few months before it died. But I'm glad, like I was learning all this stuff about belief in myself. And then ultimately when it was time, like the business failed. Like it was just like, hey, this failed. Like I met with, like I sat down with my dad to like look at stuff, and he's like, all right, let's take a look at it and see it. And he looks at me, he's like, dude, it's time. You got to give this up. I'm like, all right,
got it, bro.
Yeah.
Restart.
And but I'm glad I had that reset time to learn some of that belief stuff. And then when I encountered this, like for me, like life devastating failure, like
At the time, it felt like that. Yeah.
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 And again, same thing. I'm so thankful
Grateful for that time. Yeah.
that I had that experience and that like kind of ego death a little bit.
100%.
And
Feel like you're losing everything.
felt like I was losing everything.
I thought we were done.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we're done. I don't know how we're gonna bounce back. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. And you go and like go and you think all these things of what am I going to tell people? People are going to think that I'm a failure and all these things. And like, then you realize nobody actually gives a fuck. And also,
It's true.
Once I came out and told people like that I was giving up the business, everybody was like, "What? How can I help you? Like, what do you need?" And all these people came out of the woodwork.
Nice.
Like, yeah, dude. Like, hey, you're looking for a job? Like, all right, let me hear what you're looking for, and
Sick.
like probably like 50 people.
Wow.
Kind of.
That's amazing.
Came together in different ways to kind of help me.
All that support, dude.
Yeah, and it kind of took all that to realize it. But
yeah,
since then, instilling that belief in myself has been a huge factor for, like, it's the reason why I was able to actually just that night when I did the acoustic recording session thing, like, I was just like, no, I'm fucking doing it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record this. I'm going to do this the best I can. I did like 5 songs, something like that.
Wow.
And I ran through it. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it again. Like, I'm just getting another take. So I've got it in here. There's no little fucking things that can pop up later and be like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
It sucks. Don't do it.
That's cool, dude.
So that kind of stuff is what's been helping push this over the edge of like, no, I'm sitting down. I'm doing this podcast like once a week. That's it.
Nice.
I'm sitting down doing the music. Like, that kind of belief in myself is something that has tremendously helped like move the intuitive stuff forward.
Yeah.
It kind of solves some of that intuition problem.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
I think a big part for me too is just having a positive mindset on life as a whole has been a huge factor for me, dude. Just not letting that negative mindset take over, like you were just saying. Just in general, just finding more of a positive outlook on life, I think has been such a game changer for me. And I don't know, just having that mindset going into every day the best you can. It's not always easy.
Yeah, no.
But in general, that has helped me big time.
Yeah.
And when you have a positive mindset, you have a clearer mind and you can trust your intuition. Maybe I'm actually answering your question that you drew it out of me. You're good at this. But yeah, I think that's been a big deal for me, is just having a positive outlook every day so that I'm clear-minded and then I can like really trust my intuition and trust what I'm feeling inside and make the right decisions ultimately for the company and for my life and for my business partners' lives.
That's cool. So it's less about like a specific tactic than it is like set yourself up mentally.
Yeah.
So it's like fertile for positivity.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And one of the big things that I've learned with I'm doing like the reason why I've been changing this because I'm doing like a mindset coaching course.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's like, and I've said this on the show before, but like if you would have told me that a year ago, I'd be like, I'm not doing a fucking mindset coach. Like, what are you talking?
In what form is that? Is that something you do online or is that something in person?
Zoom. So like there's these courses, but then there's also a guy that is like a mindset coach. So we'll talk like once a week or once every other week, but talk through the concepts.
Cool.
A lot of it comes from that book, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
So like, it's just interesting how all this stuff works. But one of the biggest changes on the positivity side was I used to be very negative about things, and people were surprised with that because like I try to be outwardly positive.
Yeah.
But I guess I was negative towards myself.
Yeah.
And when people were like, self-love, you should have self-love.
It's a big deal, dude.
That sounds fucking gross.
Yeah, what is this shit?
I'm like, I grew up on Long Island where it was like, what are you, a fucking pussy? Get out of here with this. And
yeah.
it's like, and then so, talking terribly to yourself is
It's not
normal.
good. Yeah.
And so that was a big realization, was like, oh, your brain and your mind don't actually care whether you're positive or negative. Like whatever you put in there, your brain's going to go like, cool.
Yeah. This is what we're doing.
Get it.
Yeah.
All right. We're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's run that.
Yeah.
Running that today.
Use that in the sales call. That's going to make them want to work with you.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That positivity. You probably felt that at the session, bro. You had to. It bleeds out of the team, I feel like, at sessions.
It's almost in a positive way. It's almost blinding.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like you when you walk back in there, you go into like a little world.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, bro. Like and so much is able to come from that energy. That's what I'm saying. That positive energy. I feel like, I don't know, like you were just saying, it kind of sounds like some hippity dippity shit, but dude, that's a real thing, dude. And it consumes you and overtakes. And it's just like, from the artist perspective in our situation, they perform the best they've ever have. And from the audience perspective, they're having literally one of the best nights of their life. And they're sitting in my driveway. It's like, it's crazy, dude.
What the fuck is life?
Yeah, dude, it's cool. I say that's the name of our second channel, is What a Life. And that's because of that. Like, that is literally... It's literally the DNA of it. It's like, we say what a life so much because of all this. It's crazy. It's
really?
Like, what a life. Like, we say it all the time. So that's why we named our second YouTube channel that. What a life.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude, it's cool. It is cool to watch. It's it gets me fired up to see that stuff.
Hell yeah, bro.
I
love hearing that more than anything. It gives me chills, bro.
Yeah.
If I can just spark a little bit of inspiration, or not me personally, but all of us, or whatever this Sugarshack thing is, like, if we can inspire others to, if it's a podcast or if it's your music. And I was on another podcast recently, and he told me that too. He's like, I'm literally doing this because watching you guys, like, do what you guys do and have built what you guys have built. Like, I wake up driven to do this every day. I'm like,
hell yeah,
dude, sick. Like, I feel like I'm finally giving back, because that's what I was looking for. I've been looking for that for every day for the past 10 years. I'm looking for a little bit of inspiration. I was saying that earlier. Like, so to hear and see that come to fruition is like, it blows my mind every day, dude. And it keeps me driven for sure.
It's cool. It's and that's not the same. I'm searching for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is cool that you get to now finally, after all this time, get that feedback that's cool. Coming back to you, and like, you get to be that spring for somebody else.
Yeah, dude. And just one day it was just kind of flipped. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's interesting. I don't know.
And I feel like that kind of stuff happens at the perfect time, because you're in it enough where, unless you completely go off the fucking rails, like,
I'd have to stop.
Yeah. It's like, you're in it enough where the nice ego stroke part is just kind of a nice ego stroke part, but it's not at the core of the drive.
Yeah, that's a great point. I agree. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. We're just kind of living our true selves at this point.
Yeah.
It just comes so natural to all of us now, our day to day. And we all have our eyes on the same mission. And again, we're all on the same wavelength, and we're on the same energy. And, just riding that same wave together, bro. It's cool. Yeah. It's really cool. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. When you can get a team all on that same dynamic, dude, it's unstoppable. And that's how we feel right now.
And I think that was always something, like, when I was doing bands and everything like that. That was probably one of the most disheartening parts of it.
Yeah.
It was like, when we were in opposite states, dude, I think we went through 13 members in
nice
3 years or something like that. Just people coming in and out.
And
all that stuff.
What was the hardest member to maintain? Was like a drummer or bassist? Or?
Well, it was me and Corey, so we were pretty solid that whole time.
You're the singer, so that helps.
Yeah, I'm a singer.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, singing guitar, and then he played bass. But just drums and
drummers.
Yeah, drummers. You guys fucking
I'm trying to change that, bro. I know,
No,
and I feel like I'm the hard one in my band.
it's part of the universal balance, dude.
Yeah, damn.
No, but it's like yeah, and we'd have stints of like good people, but it just never everybody was never on the same page. And I do take responsibility for a decent amount of that.
Yeah.
Just in terms of I was the leader of the band.
Yeah.
And ultimately just same thing with the business. Like there was something inside where it was like that doubt crept in
Yeah.
and crept in persistently enough where I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I'll let whatever happens happen.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
mindset changes, dude. You're done.
it's yeah, and
You're
it's
done.
you're just riding down a sinking ship.
Yeah,
That whole
exactly.
time.
Exactly. You got to keep your mind right and your mindset on the right course. Because yeah, you let that doubt take over, bro. You're done. It's not good.
No.
It's toxic. But yeah, I think having a team around you helps with that, though. When you have like a positive team, and again, everybody's on the same mission and with the same goals, it helps you stay focused and
Yeah.
helps you stay driven. So,
And dude, what's it been like to now become friends with some of these artists and things like that? Like even like Pacifier is a good example.
Yeah.
Like I watched your guys' podcast with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that
and
was
it's-
cool.
Yeah, and it's like that's a band I've been listening to forever.
Yeah, me
and then
too.
just like getting to see like a conversation with them from somebody who knows them in
Yeah.
a podcast format. I
Now
felt
they're
like
homies.
I felt like I was like got to be a fly on the wall in
That's
like
cool.
a regular real life conversation. It was sweet.
That
But
was good, dude. That's a good podcast.
it was a great podcast.
I got emotional, and they really shared some really personal shit on that pod. That was a good pod. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. Like people ask me, like, what are some of your dream artists you want to work with? I'm like, man, I've worked with like a lot of them right now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, dude. Like, and without, I don't know, I don't know. It comes back to like living your true self and like, and trusting your intuition and doing what we do. I don't know, man. It's been really crazy to see what we have done like together as a team. And for example, we were at Trevor Hall's house this week in Colorado. He brought us out to record 15 songs with him over 2 days at his house in his personal studio, basically this in his garage. I'm like, and Trevor Hall is one of my like top 3 favorite artists of all time. And I'm sitting here like this with him. And it was just like, dude, where am I? And what am I doing right now? I'm like having lunch with Trevor Hall for 2 days and like in his home and like just getting this intimate, like one-on-one acoustic 15 songs of his new album, just like right here. I don't know. It was just, it's
Sick.
cool, dude. I don't know. I just take it day by day, bro. I'm just taking it day by day and just letting this kind of take us where, we're kind of on this path already that we can just almost just trust it. Let's just trust where we're going.
Yep.
Trust what we've built. And let's just ride it out and see how far we can take this.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. And that's just the channel side. Like I said, like, meanwhile, we have a venue and a restaurant coming. Like, I'm talking like strictly like music channel stuff.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, dude. It's like this whole other world that's going to like, in like 4 months, just going to pop.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm pumped
hyped.
for it.
I'm hyped.
I'm super excited
I'm hyped.
that's coming out. But yeah, dude. Well, thanks for coming and doing this.
Mhm.
Anything that you want to leave? Would you like to leave the audience with any final?
Oh, man, I've said a lot of things. This has been a really cool pod, dude. You're really good at this.
Thanks, man.
And you asked me some tough questions that I feel like I ultimately answered,
You
but
ultimately
you
answered.
stumped me a couple times, which
all
is
right.
good, bro. You asked me a lot of things that I haven't been asked, so that's cool, bro. You got me thinking, got me sweating too.
Yeah. Welcome to the garage.
that
dude.
mushroom coffee or whatever
Yeah.
you got me drinking. But yeah, this was great, bro.
Hell
Appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I love watching you grow your. I know ultimately the last one didn't work, but dude, there's so many episodes that I found inspiration, and I didn't get to say this earlier. Like the Malik episode, dude, like fired me up.
Really?
Fired me up, dude. I reached out to him after. I was like, dude, great podcast. I felt so fired up after that. Like I needed that. It
Shit.
was really cool. It was a really cool story, dude. I've always been kind of like a fan and a fly on the wall watching Malik's journey
Yep.
and seeing what he's built. But then hearing him just talk about it was the first time I've ever like heard the like nitty gritty and like the inside of what he's doing, what he's building. I was like, bro, like I was so inspired after that episode, dude. So yeah, it's really cool, man.
Hell
Keep
yeah.
doing this, man. This is awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thanks.
See ya. How long was that?